You lean into that hard.
Huh?
I said you lean into that hard.
What do you mean?
You know, what was the name of the place? It wasn't Wakanda.
No, it's Coming to America.
Yeah, but where was the town that
It was in New York.
No. James Earl Jones played the dad.
Okay. Oh,
Where's the king of? That's what I want to.
Zamunda.
Zamunda.
The king of Zamunda. I am the king. I'm the master, the emperor.
Bang. And then if you sit up, bang.
There you go.
Yeah.
I look like Ray Charles right now, boy.
This makes me so happy.
I look like, I look like Ray Charles, y'all. Black shades, man. Guys, I only put the black shades on because my bags under my eyes is just, a week of hard work. You know how that goes. See. Oh, he still look good, boy. That boy still look good, man. But I'm gonna keep the shades on, everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're an artist.
Makeup check.
You.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. This is your B-roll, man. You look at it later.
This is awesome. This is amazing. All right, I'm turning this on. I'm just gonna start this.
Yeah.
Is Zavier De'Angelo, thank you so much for coming here. I am Local Rules, Chris Headshots. The idea behind this is to talk to whoever the locals are here, find out what the rules are. I think the history of this particular area, just South Florida in general, is incredibly interesting. And I'd like to hear it from the people's voices themselves.
Okay.
You're the people's, but not only the people's, you've been a good friend for quite some time. And you're great at what you do. You're one of the best, if not the best, in South Florida at what it is that you do. And I would like people to know your story. And I figured since I opened this podcast studio, it would be a great opportunity for me to share your story with the people that follow me.
Okay. I love that. So when you're asking me my story, like, where do you want me to start? Because,
So let's first start with this. Tell the people what it is that you do for a living.
Okay.
And then I will ask you backstory. So like when you go out and you shake hands and kiss babies and they go, hey, so like, what do you do for work? What do you say?
Well, when people ask me what I do for work, sometimes I don't tell them I'm a photographer because I don't think they truly understand photography because, with time have changed, everybody just thinks pulling out an iPhone is taking photos now. It's not like back in my times, like let's say about 10 years ago when you told people you do photography, they understood it. Now I'll just tell people, I have a creative space. Because I have a studio, I tell people I have a creative photography space. I don't just say I'm a photographer. I stopped doing that a long time ago. When I tell people I have creative space, they seem to have more of an understanding. I always have to mix in my space with my photography. I can't just say I'm a photographer because nowadays, I'm not saying photography is oversaturated, but it's like everyone is in the industry doing photography. Shout out to all the new photographers that's trying to get in, which is very hard right now, meaning there's a lot of guys that's with cameras that's not really taking it as serious as we took it back in the days. But yeah, when people ask me, what is that you do? I say, I have a creative space. I'm a creative. I have a photography studio. We do videography. We rent space. So I just tell them things like that. It all depends on who I'm talking to because realistically, I run 4 or 5 businesses. I broke my photography business into commercial photography. I broke it down to pageantry. I broke it down to headshots because the season changed a lot. Even though Florida realistically, we only have 2 seasons, right? We would say we have summer all year long. Then we have our little rainy season. When I first started, I was the beach photographer for sure. I was definitely a beach photographer. I was on the beach. This is one of the time when things was just fun. I was on the beach shooting every day. Then once I started taking it very serious, and I realized it rained a lot, and a lot of cancellations was happening. Then I said, you know what? I need to learn how to shoot in studio. And we're talking about 2015, 16. You know, this is like when I started taking photography a little serious. Then I started learning how to do 5, 10 lighting setups, you know, and things like that. Like that's like the Playboy back in the days, how Playboy used to shoot, and they used to have all the lights everywhere. And I learned from there. So, you know, I know I went off a tangent, but I can't help myself, you know. It's so much to talk about, you know. But yeah, just tell people, look, I run a photography studio. I have a creative space. You know, I tell them things like that.
All right. Where'd you grow up?
Well, originally I was born in Haiti.
Oh,
originally. But I grew up in this city called Lake Worth Beach, which it was originally called Lake Worth, but it's called Lake Worth Beach now.
How old were you when you came over?
I was 2 years old. I don't remember much, you know, but I was 2 years old. But, you know, the journey, let's say this, even though I came here at 2 years old, I didn't become a American resident until I was like 18, 19 years old. So the process, I didn't even know I was an immigrant until my last year of high school.
That's like me finding out I'm adopted.
Right. So yeah. So I grew up in Lake Worth.
Okay. What is Lake Worth like? Lake Worth is just south of West Palm Beach?
Lake Worth is a little south of West Palm. Yeah. Before you even get to West Palm Beach.
North of Boca?
That is correct.
All right. And is it a beach town? Is it a city? What is?
I would say it's a little mix of both. Yes, people do go to the beach. We do have fun, but it's still a small city. You know what I mean? That's just, I grew up there. And I went to high school. I went to middle school, high school. I went to Barton Elementary. I mean, it's just, everybody's like a small community that knows each other. We kind of like, I love when I go see my son. My son still live in Palm Beach in Hypo area. And when I go there, you know, I love seeing my childhood friends and people I went to school with. I enjoy being there, for sure. I definitely enjoy being there.
What was the elementary school?
Barton Elementary.
Barton Elementary. And then from Barton, you went to what high school?
Lake Worth. I went to Lake Worth Middle, then Lake Worth High School.
Okay. And then Lake Worth High School, did you go to college?
Yeah. I went to Lynn University. Well, at the time, it was called DMAC, but it got bought out by Lynn University. And I studied graphic design, bachelor's in graphic design, master's in web design. I studied that too.
Is that what got you into photography?
100%. Actually, shout out to, I'm going to say his name because I tell him all the time. I'm going to always say his name. It was my teacher named David Massey. He was a photography teacher at the time. And because, you know, your undergrad, even though you was taking graphic design, you had to take a photography course. And I'll have to say, you know, I think throughout the years, I'm not going to say like I disliked them, but he was like very hard on me. And I remember I remember walking to his studio and I just seen all like lighting. I seen stuff like this, but this is before Godox and all this cool stuff they have going on. This is just Paul C. Buff, you know? Yeah, right. I remember walking to his studio and I was just inspired. And when I've been to his studio, I was inspired. And I remember to this day, I said, man, I asked him, can I work for him? He told me no. And when that no just became to, I want to be better than him. That's just that, you know what I mean? And, but, you know, and I actually appreciate him doing that because, not saying that I got better than him, but I did get better than him. But I'll write him on Facebook from here and there. That should show love, and I tell him I appreciate him. You know, it's all love now, you know. And you know, he said honestly, he told me, I knew that you was a hardworking student, so I just put that little pressure on you. So you know, I appreciate. I did finish one on the top of my class. So
nothing motivating like having.
Yeah.
You know,
someone tell you can't do it, right?
Yep.
You know,
that was trying to think of his name for me right this second. He was the older guy who did headshots for everybody down here in South Florida. I can't think of his name. Anyway, I offered him like my life savings.
Right.
Told me to go shove it.
Oh man, that's all you needed right there.
Cool. I'm gonna go up and say what's up to Peter Hurley.
Yeah, right.
See you later. All right. All right. So you did college. How long did it take once you had a camera? What was the length of time that it took you to be able to make money where you could, did you have multiple jobs?
Okay, so cool. Good questions, honestly. So while I was in college, I started working for a company, and it was called Car Qualifier, and I became a art director for this company, And my boss at the time, his name was John. Shout out to John, man. I want to tell you I love you. I appreciate you. You are an amazing boss. That was my last job I've ever had, too. Obviously, I had at least extra little hustles as well. I was doing mixtape covers and so on. But my actual job I had was I was art directing and I was doing security at the mall at some point. But when I stopped that, because I was during college, but after college, I was working for a company called Car Qualifier. And from there, I learned how I was, expanding my graphic design. I was doing photography for the company as well. So that was about 2008, 2009. 2009 to about 2014, 15. And I worked for that company for at least 4 years.
What'd that pay?
I mean, I would say that check was like probably a week, probably like $600 a week. I mean,
time were you putting it?
At least 40 hours, 30, 40 hours a week. I mean, my first original job was like, we used to call ourselves 550 team, 650 team. My first job, I'll never forget that. You used to get $650 an hour. But anywho, back to working at Car Qualifier. Like I said, why I appreciate my old boss so much was because he was my first investor.
Okay.
He was my first investor. At some point where, when I knew I was going to move on, he knew that I was going to outgrow the company. And I think at some point, the company was downsizing. And I remember he said to me, hey, and let's throw this in there. While I was working, John, by the way, if you're watching this, the days I used to tell you I'm sick and I didn't feel good, I was doing a photo shoot. I used to do photo shoots. My job used to start at 9. From Boca Raton, I used to drive to Miami at like 5 a.m. to do a photo shoot and take a shower at the beach and make it to work. And I used to tell my boss, oh yeah, I wasn't feeling good. I was lying. I ain't gonna lie. So, but it's okay. That's where I'm at now. So these are the sacrifices it took. But he was my first investor because when I stopped working there, he helped fund my Canon. I think it was a Canon Mark IV, 5D Mark IV.
5D Mark IV.
Yeah, man, and he don't know that camera made me who I am now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, shout out to John, man. And I'm always remember like things like that.
So this dude hooked you up with the badass camera, the original workhorse for you.
The original workhorse, yeah. It's funny, I still have that camera in the lens. It was 24-70. I still have that just to remind me where I came from.
Are you still shooting all Canon? I
still shoot all Canon. I would say my first camera was a Nikon. I don't know what happened to that camera. I end up getting a Canon from there. You know what I mean?
Go ahead and move that microphone just to point into you.
A little bit, like tilt it down.
I feel like you were just point the direction of the microphone towards your mouth.
Right about here. Right about here.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah. Pretty much Canon. Canon is my thing.
Still Canon.
Still Canon. Well, you know what? So, even though I do shoot with Canon for photography, I do have Sony for videography.
Okay.
I do have Sony for videography. I did have a Blackmagic, the Blackmagic 4K. But it's just, I'm sorry, I can't do the whole manual thing. I'm not like a full-time videographer. So manual is just not for me. You know what I mean?
It's interesting.
No, it's not that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just too much for what I'm shooting.
You're making a choice.
Yeah, I'm just making a choice. You know what I mean? For what I'm doing, it doesn't need. I don't need that.
Yeah, when people are like, "Oh, I'm shooting it up," I'm like, "All right, cool. You want to do more work?"
Yeah, I'm not shooting film. I'm shooting like behind the scene content or like small clips for clients that don't need a campaign style. When I get things like that, I'll hire some of my friends for like a job like that.
So you had this job. You were creative director. He knew that you were going to outgrow the job.
Mm-hmm.
He hooked you up, got you this great camera.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go immediately from that into full-time photography?
100%. So luckily, I was getting clients while I was working my job. Started getting clients like doing birthdays. You'd be surprised, man. Shout out to birthdays, families, and from there, I started learning my niche. I started getting into swim photography. So I really started getting into swim photography. Before I even was shooting models, I booked my first model. Yeah, I booked my first model in Miami. I think her name was Bella. And I booked Bella. And from there, my photography started growing on Instagram. Because I think Instagram started, 2000, around that time, 2015, 16, if I'm correct, or a little before that. Or let's look it up. Yeah, because I remember the platform was like, the logo was brown. It was like a brownish color. At that time, it was no videos. It was just all photos. So yeah. So my photography started growing from there, shooting models. Then that's 2010. Right? Okay, cool. So that's when I would say I didn't find out about it till about around that time. So from there, I started shooting campaigns. I would say my first company I shot a campaign for was actually Be Fine, which was a swim company that I still work for till this day. And that was the first campaign that I shot. They probably didn't know that was the first campaign. I would say major campaign. Let's say it was my first major campaign that I shot for. And from there, I'm like, okay, this is like really getting serious. And then I opened up my LLC in 2016. But all the other years before that, I was just shooting and practicing. Shoot, practice. I got hired doing mixtape covers, birthdays, you name it, quinceañeras, roofing companies. I just did everything. And I think the problem with, my personal opinion, the new photographers, they get so stuck in doing natural light. When they come to my studio, when I see my studio rentals, they do not know how to use a strobe at all. You give them a continuous light. Yeah, continuous light is easier, but, they don't know how to use a strobe. They don't know how to change the settings on their camera because they just too comfortable. And what I love about campaigns, when we shoot a campaign for companies will push the bar to the next level, especially when you start pulling out carts, batteries, generators, screens, scrims, and so my first campaign, I didn't know anything about these things. I didn't know about tethering. There's a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't have those things at that time in my first campaign. But as time progressed, I had to implement those things into my photography. It's a lot when you first starting off to learn, because I would say at college I learned photography, meaning I learned the foundations of photography, but realistically, you don't really know until you're actually in the field. Like it doesn't, even in college in general. I love college. I'm happy with the results, but when it comes to business itself, no type of schooling can teach you business. Schooling can teach you the foundation. Schooling can teach you, all right, here's a cheat sheet, here's a small template, but realistically, you're going to end up creating your own steps, your own blueprint from A through Z, and then you learn. There's a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, for sure. Learning how to back up files is another thing. Learning how to back up files, learning to have extra batteries, Learn to have a backup camera and a backup lens. When I first started working, one camera, okay, cool. Then one day I remember at a shoot, my camera just didn't want to turn on. And thank God I called a friend that wasn't too far, and he brung his camera, and I'm like, okay, now I got to buy 2 cameras. It's so much that I think we don't factor into this business when you first starting off. I can go all day, man. You know what I mean? Especially now, I'm trying to help the younger photographers learn like the business. And realistically, what I'm learning that the photographers having a hard time separating being a creative and being a businessman. That's what I'm finding out right now.
We get into that a little bit. What are the biggest problems that you see?
So I have a lot of younger photographers, right? And they ask me my opinion. Well, they're not getting clients, and I realize it's not that they're not getting clients. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a creative. Like, always be a creative. But you also have to understand these clients are hiring you for their vision. Now, it depends, though. It depends. Because you have some clients that might have a small team that come up with the vision. And sometimes I give my input, but realistically, this is what we don't factor in as photographers, especially when you first starting off. If the client have a team, the team already know and have the vision to sell. We're not just taking photos, we're selling a product. To us, we tend to forget as artists is, oh my God, we get so caught up into the lighting and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, your job is to capture an image that they can put out in the field to sell a product. That's your job. That's your job. Now they hiring us for the creative eye. They believe that with our eye we can capture the image that they want. But what happening is the newer generation, which I've probably had that problem too in the past, that but we give our little baby opinions. Hey, I don't think it looks good like bro. No, they have a vision to sell. My job as a photographer is how can I shoot a photo or take a video that they can get a return on their investment, and that investment is me. Sometimes I even go back and look at the client's website and say, hey, you know what? I go at their website, I look at their social media. Sometimes I don't mind doing little extra steps, especially brand new clients, and try to say, hey, maybe go towards this right here that helps push and drive more sales. Because when they make more sales, you get more bookings at the end of the day. Because you have to keep in mind, you got campaigns, then you also have those mini shoots that's in between the campaigns. Sometimes campaigns might come once a year, but you also have those mini shoots that might happen throughout the year too, because at the end of the day, they need consistent content. Especially with the time right now, you post anything on social media only lasts 12 hours, realistically. It's a 12-hour game. I remember back in the days, you'll post a picture, that picture will circulate all week, almost like it went viral. Viral now and viral then is totally different. Photo-wise, videos, you have to put a lot of effort for the videos. Videos, you have to put so much effort because people's attention span is so minute. Especially like having the iPhone now. There's no point of even pulling out expensive $4,000 or $5,000 camera when somebody can get that moment right now. People just want that shock value now. They just want to be, oh my God, this is dope. You hook them in. So now you have to process, even though I do little funny videos from here and there. Why? Not because I'm selling my photography business. I'm selling my personality now. People want to hire you for who you are. They want to hire you for your personality. They want to hire you as the person. Like, everybody can take photos, but does this person have good personality? Does this person have the vibe to be around? That's important too. Now you have to factor in.
Yeah.
Do you make the models comfortable? Are you fun to be around? Like me, I'm more like a funny person. I like to crack jokes. And, when I first started and you meet a bunch, let's say they just hired myself and I'm in a group of 10 people and I don't know not one person. And it's kind of quiet and boring and dry. But now I'm not me, like at this point, I might walk in the room, I start talking to you like I've known you for like 10 years. And then out of nowhere, this one said, "What do I know you from?" I said, "Man, I just met you right now." You know what I mean? So you have to find a way to create a community within that shoot and try to get to know new people while you getting hired. So like I said, campaigns will definitely help me grow as a photographer.
When you were doing this, I've worked with you a few times with the Lord Joey Wright himself.
Joey, that's him.
As an assistant. Was there anybody else you ever also additionally worked under or with?
To be honest with Joey would be the only photographer I worked under, like as far as assisting.
Right? Like that's how I learned
Yeah.
C stands.
Exactly. I mostly did everything I learned realistically. There's another kid too, Sam Brave. Shout out to Sam Brave because, he was a young kid that does videography. He's a great videographer. I think he's a DP, he does directing, he does major music videos. Like he taught me a lot of stuff too, like color grading videos. There's another kid named Brant, also known as Wham. He taught me a lot of things like that too, because these are just my friends that taught me a lot of video work. Now, even though it's photography, the videography helped me with lighting. You gotta look at this. At the end of the day, videography is a continuous light. But even though I use strobes, I love to watch how the lighting and the way those bouncing lights. And I was like, okay, cool. And I learned from these guys from that. But Joy was probably the only photographer I personally assisted. Recently now I have my friend Ron. I might assist him from here and there. Now I already kind of know what I'm doing. So it's a little different. But in the beginning, it was definitely Joey.
Shout out Ron Wayne.
Shout out, man.
Okay. So do you have assistants work for you?
Yeah. Now, my young boy, he's been with me for like 3, going on 4 years now. Bobby Henry, he's also a boxer as well. You've seen him multiple times in my videos. I met him while I was, I have a friend that introduced me to I started sparring, for fun. Ajiman introduced me to him, and Bobby ended up being my assistant. Him and his brother was assisting me at first, but Bobby ended up being my full-time assistant. He runs the studio. But his full-time thing is boxing, but his part-time is photography and videography now.
Okay. Is there a hierarchy that you, when people work for you, like when you're on set, you talk to the clients only type of thing? Like on my set, I show up, I'm the leader of the pack. When there's a question or a final decision, it's my name on it. If there's something messed up, it's on me. It's not on MP.
100%. Right. So I'm gonna always take the hit at the end of the day because I'm the business.
To avoid the hit.
Right.
Hierarchy.
Right. So it's not. I don't think. Like I said, shout out to my assistant because he know what time is it already. I didn't have to say it because when you have people that's around you, like for example, when I assisted Joey didn't have to tell me that. Some people just know what time is it. I didn't have to tell him.
Educate others.
Yeah. So all right, let's say this. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So here, let's look at it like this, right? Some people know what time is it, and some people don't.
Okay, what time is it?
Let me tell you what time is it. When I come on set, let's say, for example, if I do have a set, here's some things that do happen. That does happen. Let's say stylists and makeup artists. Sometimes I might bump heads with them. You know what I mean? Because my small team, I think they've been around me enough to they know I'm the leader of the pack. But I also understand that if they have an input, they pull me onto the side. They give me their input. That's important. Like when I assisted Joey, if I might have seen something, I would pull him to the side and say, hey, what do you think about that? Or when I assisted Ron, I'll pull him to say, hey, what you think about this? I never want to look like I know more or do more than who the person that got hired. That's one. That's rule number one. Like you can't. That's in the 48 law of power. Like never what it said. Never outdo your master or something like that. Yep. Like if you read the book, you kind of like all this is in the Bible already. So this is nothing new. For me, let's say sometimes the makeup artist might like step on I don't like when too many people giving too many opinions on a campaign. If there's an art director, there's the art director, period. What I tell people, let's say there's an art director and I'll tell the art director, hey, this is the vision board. These are the shot lists. I tell the art director, hey, are you okay with me capturing extra shots outside of the main shots? And they all normally say yes, meaning, hey, if you told me to get a full body shot, the campaign is majority full body shots. Say, are you okay for me to get 3/4 of headshots in there too? Are you okay for me to get detailed shots as well? Because I noticed that you didn't have that. And they say, oh, sometimes they didn't even think of it. Or sometimes they might not need it, but I shot it anyways, and later on they end up using it as in fillers for social media. So yes, there is a hierarchy. I think photographers or anybody that's in a position of directing should always talk to the team and let them know, hey, run things by me first. And at the end of the day, it's your job to make me look good. It's your job to make me look good, because if I look good, we are good. We all getting paid because I'm going to cut the check for everybody. And a lot of things people don't understand. There's a lot of behind the scene things. Let me give you an example. I just did my boy workshop. I just did Joy workshop. I just had to show up, right? I had to show up and do my job as is expected. But at the end of the day, he had to put in all the behind the scene work. He had to create the website. He had to get the clients and get the students. He had to make all the timesheets. There's so much things that people are not factoring in. Even myself, like when I'm booking the model, when I'm booking the stylist, the hair, makeup, they don't know. I spent days talking to the client. Laying everything out, scheduling. We don't even get paid extra for that, because a lot of new clients don't have an assistant. And guess what? This is why I book the same people, because I have this loyalty that I have with people, Let me give you an example. I have something like this week. One of my clients, they're in China, right? They ship me the products, and sometimes the response time is bad. Like they have a terrible response time. And the thing is, they'll send me a PDF. Once they send me the product, they'll send you a PDF on how to shoot the product on the model. But guess what? They didn't respond for like 2 weeks. And the lady finally responds, and I'm like, hey, we're canceling this photo shoot, right? Why? Why am I canceling the photo shoot? People don't know why I'm canceling it. The model don't know why I'm canceling the photo shoot. The stylist don't know why. The makeup artist don't know why. It's because the prep before the photo shoot, me and my assistant have to handle that. And also, they'd send us wire transfers. Wire transfers takes about like 4 to 5 days. But guess what? Since my team already took that day off and I already canceled, I had to call them back, hey, can you guys do that day? They don't know in the back end that wire transfer that they send me, I'm not going to get it till 4 or 5 days from now. So I'm coming out of pocket paying them, because I love my team. At the end of the day, I want them to win. So I'm going to take the loss in the back end that they don't know about. Or, they're not processing that, hey, you know what, guys, let's just do the photo shoot and I just take care of everything. Sometimes we got to hold the stress that comes in. This is why I'm Big Daddy. I'm the boss. This is why you talk. This is why you have to understand the person that's running the pack. You have to be able to take that loss. At the end of the day, the wolf is always in the leader of the pack is always in the end. Look at the wolf. You see how he goes. He let everybody go up first, and then he's all the way in the end. He just watches. So most likely the leader have to take the back end loss for everybody to win. Yeah. So when it comes to the hierarchy, I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends sometimes. Like my studio is not under my name. I use a different name, and everybody think my assistant is the boss.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I walk in, and somebody say, "Hey, what?" I say, oh, the boss is not here right now, but they don't know I'm the boss. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the boss is not here right now, but, I'm taking over today and, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, once you're on my team, you're on my team. I don't, only when something's important, the name doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't matter. I like everybody on my team to feel like you're not working for somebody. Because I know how it feels. Nobody want to have the boss, but also they know when I'm serious as well. You know what I mean? So it's very simple. But it's important to lay out that foundation. You know what I mean? Everybody's speaking in turns. Like if you see me talking to a client, don't interrupt. Like that's just disrespectful. One, and the client gonna feel like me and you don't have a good relationship, and that's important. If sometimes you should wait, or sometimes you gotta play the game. You gotta know how to play the game. Oh, Joey, I'm sorry for the interrupting. Here's what I say. If I see something that you don't see, I might say, hey, Chris, did you still want me to set up the C-stand over here? And I hope Chris understand that, hey, bro, we need a C-stand right there. Let me add a flag right there because you may not catch that, but I caught that. So, but I'm going to say, hey, Chris, sorry for the interruption. Do you still want me to put that C-stand there? Do you still want me to put that flag there? I know you wanted me to put an extra light here. Do you still want me to put a bounce under here? I know we spoke about that. I'm not sure. And let me take the L looking like I'm not sure. But I know you didn't bring it. You know what I mean? So I think things like that is important. You always find a way to make Chris look good. Because at the end of the day, he's going to make your pockets look good. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it in that sense.
Fire. Thanks for making me look good.
Yeah, man. That's the way you got to do it, man. That's the way you got to do it.
Just side note, you look fucking good.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for making me look good.
Yeah.
You look good. Okay. How do you feel about AI right this second? And as photographers, I know a lot of people are super scared. I know some of us are feeling it. For sure, in the headshot industry, I feel like the bottom tier of people kind of went away, and like the people I like to like. It used to be you would go to your cousin who had who could take your headshot before me, and I'm always number two. And I feel like AI just kind of made me either number 3 or number 2 still, or they'll use an AI headshot and then people will be like, that's an AI headshot.
Right.
And then they end up working with me now. So like, I'm still getting them. It's just, it's delayed a little bit.
Well, let's look at AI in this sense, right? AI going to help weed out the cheap people.
Right.
The people that's trying to negotiate all day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The people that don't want full quality. Not saying AI cannot give you quality, but at the end of the day, taking a picture in your
I feel like it's a good
in your room, but it's not where you finna put it in a billboard. I say I have like mixed feelings for AI in the sense of it have helped me in my workflow. So I cannot say ChatGPT did not help me on my workflow. I would be lying. Some things that used to take me forever, especially like email blasting, coming up with good titles, and I think that aspect of AI have helped me a lot in my business. As far as I would say the only app I really hate is Facetune. I mean, the Face app is like the app that I really hate, to be quite frank. That's the only app I dislike. But why? Oh man, after I did all this work on my edits, and I might give a model or a client and it's just Facetune it, and it's like, man, like you don't look like that, and it's just a little. People are starting to believe in something that they're not. Like I use AI to sing, but I can't sing. I can write though. I can write good music, but I know I can't sing. I sample my voice and let it. And I made albums because I use it to my advantage. Why did I start using AI for music, right? Because I got tired of having to pay subscriptions for music. When I knew I could write my own music, let me use my own music and I won't get striked on YouTube. Like I thought about things like that. Let me create my own music. Let me tell my own story with my music. Now, like Swim Week is coming up. I made a whole EP where it's just music that's like runway show music because I wanted to use my own stuff. I get paid twice for that. When you're streaming the songs, I get paid for that. The video you're watching, I get paid for that. So if you use AI to work for you, it's going to work out, you know? And no, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to use AI to take other people's jobs. That I'm not doing. I'm not, because at the end of the day, I think it's not fair. And I see that now where AI will be taking people's jobs for sure. Look at like the robotics. You look at when you go into stores now, there's no more cashiers. You know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna be robots for sure at some point. But I think people need to learn how to adapt. Because when I first started photography, I used to get people's phone numbers. Now everybody's writing you on DMs now. Nobody want to get each other's phone number, but I still get everybody's phone numbers because I believe if everything's shut down right now, I have everybody's contacts. Yeah. You know? And shout out, thank God I started this industry the old days where, you know what I mean, we didn't have mirrorless cameras. You know, where I started off where I had to burn a CD to give somebody their photos. You know what I mean?
CD.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right. I had to burn a CD. And I had, after the model left, and I gave her photos on a CD or a DVD or Blu-ray or something like that. You know, as far as AI right now, it's like a hate-love situation where I love it because some things that should take me hours to subtract, it's like a click of a button now. I mean, it's not perfect, but like doing a wedding and removing someone in the background is like nothing now. You know, which it used to take me forever trying to rebuild something, have used my imagination. But I think sometimes, you know, but I just feel sorry for those people that don't know how to catch up with time. And that's just not in photography. That's just in everything. You know what I mean? Like AI taking jobs away from people. Like, you know, I didn't see Amazon like kind of like fired so many people, and now they have the robotics. And I feel bad for those like people that's in those type of industries. But I can say this. If you decide to use AI and your best advantage would be creating online content with AI. Like I actually just started a company. It's called Mini Bounce Kids. I wrote music for children, which you can actually look it up. Mini Bounce Kids on Apple Music, Spotify. And from there, I took those songs and I turned them into cartoons. I hired somebody to start illustrating these cartoons, which I created a YouTube page. I have about 20 videos already finished, but I'm aiming for at least 30 to 40 before I launch, so that way I can be at least 2 months ahead. Because, you know, you got to, you know, and realistic, I'm like pushing for like being in the middle of Gracie Corner and ABC Mouse, which you also have a little hip hop twang to it. I'm teaching kids like basic alphabets, but also I'm teaching them like continents of the world. So, like I said, all this is through AI. Except the illustration, I didn't do the illustration through AI, but you got to think about this. I might have an idea, and I might go on Cloud, I think, and ChatGPT, and here's my idea. Help me put this idea together, because I might have an idea, and then it helped me form this idea, and then I take that and hire somebody that can do it. I still do the hiring thing. I don't use Gemini. What is those the ones that generates videos for AI?
Higgsfield?
Like Higgsfield. I don't use those because when I did it, AI is still making mistakes, and it costs credits. And I'd rather just pay somebody, because when I did the math, I was like, you know, I could have just paid somebody to just do that for me, you know? So that's why I don't use them, because it's just one more extra load I already have, and I don't feel like putting like
pay them to do the.
I'd rather just pay. But actually, the illustrator, he didn't use AI. He did everything from scratch, from the logo intro, from everything, you know. And this is what I'm talking about. I use AI for that. I have another YouTube page. It's called The Word is God, where I wrote scriptures from the Bible, and I use 11 Lab to do the voiceovers, and then I put the music together. Like, I'm creating, I call it digital real estate. That's the word I use. And one of my friends actually told me that, where when you buy a home at the end of the day, right, you have to put a deposit in a home, and then after you buy the home, you might have somebody rent your place out, and then now you have rental property, right? Now someone's renting your space, obviously it's helping pay your mortgage, but you might make a average profit like $300 to $400 profit, and that's not including if things break. Now, if you have a YouTube page and multiple YouTube pages that's making, even if he was making $500 a month, that's like having a property without making a deposit. So one of my homeboys was like, bro, you got digital real estate. And I'm like, you know what? Let me continue doing that. And people not processing, how can you use AI to your advantage? If you're working at 9 to 5 right now, the best thing you can do is this. If you're working on 9 to 5, pick up some extra shifts, learn a little bit of AI, learn a little bit of Photoshop, because, it costs money for these things. So learn Photoshop, learn how to use, CapCut in some of these videos, and start slicing things together. Make your YouTube page or make educational videos and using AI to your best advantage, and you might make extra income, and that's my best take on AI. It's like a hate and love thing, because I use it to my advantage, because I understand what I'm missing, things that I had to pay for. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of using other people's content, I could just use mine. Why not?
Okay. To bring it back to local rules real quick. You grew up in the town?
Lake Worth.
Was there any rivalry in Lake Worth with Broward or West Palm Beach?
I would say, I think it's hard for me to say that, because I feel like, I wasn't really paying attention to things like that. There was like, obviously Lake Worth and Boynton had that's another, city within Lake Worth, Palm Beach. They had their little rivalry, but at this time, I grew up in a time where like the thugs was really thugs. You know what I mean? They had like real, like people that was shooting and hurting each other at that time. And luckily, I just never paid attention to that stuff, because my mom used to beat my ass, so, and I'm kind of happy it worked out like that, My mom used to beat my ass, and I never had, I was just too afraid to get in trouble. I was more afraid of her than the guys, So, yes, they definitely had rivalry. They definitely had guys that was in, like, so-called gangs, and, I pray for them now, because, I'm sure a lot of them, like, they spent time in jail, and they all getting out of jail now, and their life are changing. It's getting better. I've seen that, going back in Lake Worth is better now, because it was like went through a dark stage, but now it's like everything's a little cleaned up. Obviously, there's gonna be bad people then, but the people that I knew that was bad at the time is out of they're dead, they're in prison, or they're just getting out of jail. And and then they have some of those people that stayed out the way. And I was just one of those people that stayed out of the way, because my mom used to beat my ass. And sometime a little ass whooping for these new generation, we need to go back to beating ass in private. You know what I mean? Because,
Private.
Yeah, in private. You got to start beating your kids' asses in private, because that's what kept us out of trouble, man. It really did. When it's not that you were scared of your parents, you were scared, like, one, you was afraid to let them down, one. You was afraid to let them down. And at the end of the day, you gave them more respect. You gave them more respect. And I think these parents are like, there's this soft parenting that's going on now. And that soft parenting is creating a lot of corruption right now.
Did you grow up with a dad?
No, I didn't grow up with that. That's why my mom beat my ass.
Okie doke.
You know what I mean? My son got a dad, though. You know what I mean? That's all that matters, And my son, I don't know, I actually have to beat his ass, because he's a good kid. Straight A kid, you know what I mean? And I'm very proud of him. He wants to go to Duke University. He just started playing sports, and I love everything that he's doing. Hopefully, he can finally come work for me. But these kids, you can only push them to do so much.
I would love for you and him to sit down and just have a conversation recorded.
Oh yeah, for sure, I'm down for that.
All right, so the area of South Florida, what would you say are 3 local rules that you should abide by when you come down here?
Here's the most important thing. Repping where you're from, coming to Florida, means nothing. Because our gun law is different from your gun law, respectfully. Like, you get people coming from New York and these other places, and they come here, and they have this energy like this, I'm from, but like, Florida don't really care where you're from, realistically. Why? Because these YNs, they do not care. They will shoot up the block for fun. So one of the things I say, if you're going to come to Florida, realistically, you need to mind your own business, man. Come here, enjoy the weather, enjoy South Beach, holla at the girls, and go home. I say that's rule number 1. That's like all the rules all in one. You know? That's all the rules all at once, because I think people just think like, thinking they're back home. Like, when I go to a different city, or I've traveled so many places in the world, I follow suit. I know what time is it. I follow suit. Yeah, I'm not home. Yeah, I don't know nobody. Yeah, I'm not the biggest boss here. I'm just here on vacation. I'm just here visiting the town. I remember when the first time I went to LA, this is when, I was naive and young. I didn't know nothing about the colors and all that, stuff. You can't wear red, blues, and all these. And I remember I went to, where it was? I went to Compton. I think I had like a red LA hat, and because I thought, like I said, I stayed away to a lot of bad stuff. So red hat and the red Chucks.
You're just wearing red.
I'm just wearing red. And I remember this guy, luckily I was shooting with this model, and the guy was telling me, hey man, what you repping? I said, man, to be honest with you, I just thought I thought that was something you guys wear because it looked cool. He said, nah, bro, you can't wear that stuff like, right? I said, oh, I learned. He said, but you good because, I'm just letting you. He was cool. Like, he was gangster, but he was cool. You're like, listen, like, on a normal day, that would have caused corruption. That would cause problems. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that, like I said,
start of a problem.
Exactly. Right. I had a little cousin one time, Levi. He's a trucker. And I don't remember if it was in California, but he had a stop in California. He had a red Star Wars fit on, right? And he was at a food truck, and somebody pulled up and said, hey, man, where you repping? He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, what you repping? He was saying, he's saying something like, he's like, I don't know, man, I'm just
I'm a Star Wars.
This is a Star Wars shirt. It was just hilarious, man, when he was explaining it. Bro, I was dying wearing a red Star Wars shirt, man. It's like, so now, see, here's the cool thing about experience. With experience, you learn, let me look up local rules. With experience, you learn, let me look up local rules. Everywhere I travel in the world, like when I went to Africa, I went and I was like, okay, well, what are the rules? Meaning like what you can and cannot do. I have to understand Western culture and Eastern culture. I have to understand when I go to the islands, okay, what I can and cannot say. You know what I mean? How do I say? What religion is the most dominant religion? Who not to disrespect at the end of the day? And those things are important. I mean, and that goes everywhere you go. You should kind of, and it doesn't matter who you are. You just don't want to be oblivious to things. Knowing what areas not to go to, what areas it could be like, high crime rate areas. I'm not saying, because a lot of times because they say it's high crime rate areas doesn't mean it's high crime. Sometimes it just, multiple crimes happen at a certain point that is just stuck with that, with the name high crime. Because when I went to Compton, everything was cool. I was having a great time. It's not like there was a shooting every 5, and I didn't see any of that. So yeah, it's important to really read the room when you travel. One is reading the room and watch your surroundings. Another thing is people need to watch who they travel with.
Talk about that some more.
And another thing is, and ladies, please, and I'm watching a lot of girl trips go wrong. Girls are coming back home where, their friend got hurt or someone died, and guys too, you gotta watch who you like. If I know you like a person that drinks a lot, I'm just not traveling with you. That's just that. I'm not traveling with a crazy drinker, like a person that get like super drunk, because I will leave you in the club by yourself, bro. I'm sorry. I'm too grown to be like babysitting grown-ups. And that's why I personally like traveling by myself. Like I've traveled with my assistant. He's more cool, laid back. We both don't drink. We don't smoke. So it's easier to maintain a person like that,
Oh, yeah.
It's easier to maintain people like that. I've always been a designated driver type of person, a person that knows how to handle their liquor, their temper. Girls too, please, when you traveling with another female, don't be traveling with girls that ain't got no money, because that's just going to piss you off. You know what I mean? That's going to piss you off, and then you're going to create arguments. Traveling with people that don't have the same interests of you. Another thing is forcing other people to do things that maybe an activity you like, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to do the same activity. I think all of us on a vacation, right? Unless it's something that everyone agreed upon. And that's another rule within a rule, that people should do when they're traveling together. But especially like as a man, when you're traveling with your significant other, we have to take the load of, hey, honey, look, if we would happen to be in this situation, this is what I would want you to do, and this is how I want you to go about it. So I think those things are important. Just in general for everybody, those things are important.
Yeah, local rules.
Yeah, local rules, man. There's rules within local rules. You know what I mean?
We've been going on now for
2 days.
1 hour and 3 minutes.
Hey, man. I'm good, man. I'm just listening. I'm cool. I'm just here to answer questions. You're my friend, and you actually asking questions that people never asked. It's a little outside of photography where I throw in some photography, but then you asking me like everyday life situations, which is cool with me. And we can cut it. It doesn't matter to me. It's however you want it.
Well, I do have some more local questions.
Sure.
You said you did some traveling. You went to places that I have not gone to before.
Okay.
One, you went to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
What other place you said just before that?
So I went to Africa, which is Addis Ababa. That was Ethiopia. I've been there, which was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Did you travel to go see the Ethiopian Bible?
Well, first of all, I'm not going up in that cave. That was just it was a lot for me to go in that cave. I was looking at it like, nah, let me not go. You know what I mean? But I do understand like the Orthodox Christians, the Protestant Christians, the Muslims that's there. So I did understand a lot. I did see a lot of these ancient churches, like these churches that's been around for a long time. And also I did photography there too. I did some photo shoots there, and I end up like meeting like cool models, make good friends, like small agencies that's within there. And I think that's something a place that I could foresee myself, being there, often. Also, like, I love going to like the islands like Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, Bahama, Jamaica, Haiti. Like, matter of fact, I would say Haiti was probably a trip that I love because, I went there for the first time, after leaving Haiti when I was young. So, like, I thought that was a beautiful experience too, being able to see like the culture, being able to see how beautiful Haiti was, the greens, the blue water. Even though, Haiti been through a lot, but people can't forget how beautiful Haiti is. It was important for me to see that, seeing how happy my people was, being able to see the Citadel, which is, this beautiful castle that was built in Haiti for like, it was a war that happened, but they built it just in case it was going to happen again, but it didn't end up happening. So I loved every moment about that. But right now, I think I'm focusing, like I said, I want to travel more on the east side of the hemisphere. Like, I want to go to other places that, matter of fact, I forgot, I went to Thailand. Came back from Thailand in November. That was fun. I went to Miss Universe 75, I think. That was a great time. Thailand was beautiful. The people was very nice. Saruka, and they was just, they was just talking. And I didn't understand half of the words, but I had to learn. Tyler, yeah, Zarukap, something like that. But that was a great experience, beautiful experience. And I think traveling the world and experiencing people, like I said, understanding cultures, local rules, is definitely important. Understanding like, okay, this is the culture, this is the rules, this is some things you like. Like when I was in Africa, I was like, okay, I didn't realize certain colors you can't wear in Africa too, because they might, they very, not that certain colors you won't wear, like, I would say like
patterns?
Because they have their own like style. They automatically gonna know you're not from there, if that makes sense. Like they'll know, like, because remember, colors and tribes, they have different tribes that represent different things. I'm saying you can't wear, so wrong wording. Like, based on what you're wearing, they kind of know what tribe or which area you're from. And I learned things like that, you know what I mean? So that was I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, I would just say traveling alone just teaches you a lot of things.
Were you surprised at any of the local rules?
Let's say, for example, when you go to Dubai, I forgot, like when you go to Dubai, right? And when I was in Dubai, I understood, remember, I do my homework before anything. I understood that you just can't get away with being loud and obnoxious, right? Like you can't just be loud in Dubai. You can't just be thinking you finna, if I see Chris, yo, Chris, like I'm not doing that in Dubai. That's not happening. Like, because everybody gonna look, because it's not an area where people just be yelling. You know what I mean? They might think something's bad about to happen at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, Dubai is still in the Middle East, no matter how we see it, right? So, like when I went to Dubai, it's like these rules are understood. When I went to there's this place called the Sheikh Zayed Mosque, the mosque, and I think it was in Abu Dhabi. Like we understood that, okay, the women had their head wraps. We understood that, okay, well, you can't hold hands when you're in the mosque. Like those are just rules that you just understand. Like they're a little bit more lenient now. Like before, like when you was in Dubai, you couldn't hold hands, you couldn't do certain things. Now, like they're okay with that. I heard in the beginning years ago they let, but like there's certain things, like when I hear people say they don't like Dubai because they can't smoke. Bro, you just can't smoke. Like, you know what I mean? You got a smoking addiction. That's on you. You know what I mean? I mean, like, you can't be on the street. Like, they didn't say you can't drink. You can't be on the street drunk. You mean you can't walk around here with an open bottle? It's the same thing here, too. So it's nothing different. It's one of the most safest places in the world that I've been to. It was safe. The streets was clean. You know what I mean? Like I said, you just have to do your homework. You have to do your homework before you go anywhere in advance, period. That's just anywhere you go, do your homework in advance. Like I don't, like for example, like certain places I wear my jewelry. Dubai is a place you can wear all your jewelry. Because over there, no matter what, you still broke. You know what I mean? So when I go to the islands, I don't wear jewelry. Because, some people might think it's a flex, but we really not. It's probably just something I do. You know what I mean?
This is just my one.
Yeah, this is just, you know what I mean? But you don't want to, like, at the end of the day, everywhere you go, there's always someone's watching. And you don't know what is their intentions. So it's important to know that there's people watching. You don't know what that person's intention is. Some people can watch as in like, oh, man, this guy's fresh. He looks very nice and good for him. And then there's some people like, oh, I'm finna rob him. So you see which one you want to be. I'd rather just be the guy that kind of looks like I ain't got nothing going on because I'm trying to just enjoy this vacation. It all depends. Like you said, if you find out the local rules, it makes more sense to really kind of look at the background of wherever you're going. It'll help you out.
All right. And now to mix it together, what are some local rules that people should follow as photographers when they're showing up to spaces? So let's just say Miami for right now, down to South Beach or Miami. What are three rules that photographers should follow for locally?
Okay, like let's say I'm gonna use myself for an example, right? At the end of the day, if I'm like running and gunning and I know I'm really taking up space, you have to understand you can't get mad at people walking into your shots. You can't, because you know who's taking up space at the end of the day, right? I don't get mad I say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. Like when people come in, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. I'm just trying to get a cool shot. Always be nice. That's one. Number two, depending on what park you go to, they can kick you out realistically. Like if I go to Crandon or any one of these places, they can kick you out. You know what I mean? It depends if the person want to be a jerk. I remember when I went to Crandon like 10 years ago, I literally pulled out. I had no license, no nothing. I just had my camera and they kicked me right out. They told me, no, you can't shoot here. You need a license. They're a little lenient now. They're way lenient now. But guess what? When I see people that's cleaning the beach and the tractors, I always wave my hand. And I might see like, a lifeguard. Hey, bro, how you doing? I think it's a rule to just be nice as possible. Because if they feel like you kind of just, you're not arrogant, you're being nice. Hey, bro, what's up? Little, hands up high, just wave. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, like, you can get two person on that tractor. You can get a hater or the person that's just, man, you know what? He's out here with a model, and I watched the guy just drive his tractor like 20 times and the beach is clean, bro. The beach is clean, man. But, I like that guy because I know he's not going to go call somebody to kick me out. So I still tell him hi. I think respect as a photographer is one. Reading the area, reading the space, understand that at the end of the day, you didn't get like what was a permit to shoot here at the end of the day, especially when you're running and gunning. The other day I was shooting on there was this pink like truck that I saw and I was just shooting on it. Like I didn't have the girl, like she did sit on it because it was a moving truck. I just liked the color. And then when I saw the truck driver was coming, I said, hey bro, just want to let you know, that pink truck was like you parked it at the coolest place. And I showed him the picture. He's like, wow, I only did that because I know I can continue shooting if I just show him like, hey, you know what? I did see your truck. I did take some photos. I'm just kind of seeing, was it okay? And his energy is like, oh, that's dope. I wouldn't have thought. I think that's like a hidden rule to understanding like, hey, some people not going to like that. Some people will like that. Like if I see a Lamborghini and I want to shoot, I'm not going to have the girl sit on a Lamborghini. That's not happening. That's a $300,000-$400,000 car. But I take a picture by it. And then if I see the owner, I might say, hey, bro, was it okay if I took a picture? Was it okay? It's too late now, right? I say, hey, I took this picture. And some of them be like, oh, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, man, here's my car, man. Open up the car. Take a picture in it. People like that. It's the respect factor. It's like, don't be arrogant. Don't feel like you own this space because you was here before. No, this is a public space for everybody. You know what I mean? So I think that's a rule that, understanding that you don't own this space, you didn't get a permit for this space, and you liable to get in trouble. Because I had a cop one time, he freaking, hey, you don't have a permit? Sometimes you get one of those. Just pull out your camera, no lights. You don't have a permit? And then let me see your license. I've had that. A cop took my license. I didn't even know my license was suspended. A cop took my license while shooting on a beach. Not because I was driving. It was because I was taking photos. He said, let me see your license. I'm like, what the fuck am I giving him my license for? Because I was taking a picture on the beach. And he said, your license is suspended, which I didn't know it was suspended. I probably had a ticket somewhere I didn't know about.
Probably also didn't need to give him your license.
I know it sounds easier for you to say, but for me, I just give the license, man.
It's not as easy for me.
Oh, well, shoot. You know what's easier for me? To just give that license.
Sure, I get it.
Yeah, it's just much easier, man.
I get it. By the way, I probably still give it.
Yeah.
I've also done what do you need my license for?
Man, listen, man. It's much easier for me to pay $750 than me going back and forth with you.
Sure, absolutely.
I've got to that age where I comply because I got more going on in my life where it's like, it's not really worth it me going back and forth with like an officer.
What is this going to escalate to?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're questioning it and you don't know if all of your ducks are lined up, as you didn't, it could end up in a...
I know my duck. Here's the thing. Another thing is, oh my God, Miami is just so dirty when it comes to these tickets, man. I had this lady, I paid my meter, right? And I was probably like 10 minutes from it being over, and I'm already made it to my car, and I saw a ticket on my car. I pulled up the ticket. You know what they do in Miami? if they feel like you're like 5-10 minutes left on your meter, they'll give you a ticket because they feel like you're not gonna make it on time. So I got there and I knew I had 10 minutes left, and I got there and I'm looking at, why the heck do I got a ticket if my meter's still running? And I ran up to the lady and said, hey, I got 10 minutes on this meter. Why did you give me a ticket? And she tried to play stupid. She was like, yeah. I'm like, lady, I know what you was doing. You gave me a ticket because you thought I wasn't gonna be here on the time that I planned. I know my timing.
All right.
They'll do that in Miami, man.
What happened?
Oh, she took it out.
Oh, okay.
And this another thing is this: you will get tickets. You don't even know you had a ticket. You will get tickets. Let's say they put in the front, and then you start driving off because you didn't think you got a ticket, and it might have flew away. I think that's how I had my license suspended. It was a ticket that I didn't even know I even had.
Yeah.
It probably just flew away.
That's what you need AI for, to be able to check out.
Right. Now I do. Now I just like log into my like Florida, DMV. I just log that in like once in Blue Moon. Like that $800 fee is expensive, man. After a while,
That right there was a good local rule.
Yeah, man.
About tickets.
Tickets, bro. You know what's funny? Overpay for your tickets. Let me give you an example. Not like the ticket I received, like my parking meter. Let's say if I have a shoot that's really gonna take an hour, I'm paying for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
I'm paying for 2 hours. I'm paying for 3 hours. Sometimes I pay like it's just hit midnight. It just say your ticket was your parking it had just expired. Like I'd rather just do that. It's not worth it. And you know what's funny? It's not that the $45 ticket I can't afford. It's I didn't know I got that $45 ticket that's going to cost me $700, $800 later on, and a suspended license.
Oh, yeah.
And points. Not worth it.
Not worth it. All right, that's 2.
Mm-hmm. Definitely that was definitely a good one. I think those two are like real strong and respecting other. Another thing I don't like is this, like, if I see another photographer shooting, I see only new photographers do that. Whereas like they literally see another photographer shooting a model that they probably can't like get in contact with, and they'll literally just like start talking to the model like you didn't see me shooting. Like, bro, like I don't do things like that. I just think it's weird, like where it's like
they're taking that opportunity.
Right, they're trying to take that opportunity, like almost if I'm not here, like you literally don't see me here. And I'm the type, I'm gonna tell you about yourself too. Like I'm like, hey bro, like yeah, we're busy right now, bro. Like you feel me? Like I give you her Instagram, but like bro, like you gonna have to DM her, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta get through it.
Yeah, just not on my time right now because we trying to get in and out because it's hot out here. You know what I mean? And I'm the type that shoots at like 9. Some people do sunset. The reason I stopped doing sunset because sometimes I don't know if we're gonna get sunset. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't feel like driving, and then the sunset just never happens.
Shoot at 9?
Yeah, I am like a 8. I like 8, 9 o'clock. And I pull out scrims and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah. Because I like it super bright.
As an individual, or you got a team with you? You got somebody?
Yeah, I always have somebody with me. Okay. Not like run and gun. If I'm doing a run and gun, it's because I like the real blue like background. Like around that time, the background is like real blue, and that's just my style. Yeah. So I just personally like that. Or I just shoot because that harsh light going through like palm trees always look good for me.
Are you shooting with an ND filter?
No. I haven't used an ND filter in so long.
I feel like the same. I was like,
I just know how to use, like, you know what I mean?
I was like, I haven't
used it. Like, I literally, my setting stays the same, man. I'm like shooting at f3.5, and I'm shooting like maybe like 2,000. I'm shooting real fast, so it doesn't even matter. So like all that, a lot of extra stuff I don't use as much. I use ND filters sometime once in a blue moon. Like maybe when I'm doing video, I use ND filters because that way all the settings can stay the same. And sometimes you just can't see where that sun is, and sweat is like burning your eyes. I just can't see. But yeah, I don't use ND filters like that. But yeah, I just personally don't like when like photographers would just come in like just like I don't even know you like that, bro. You feel me? Like you just pull up and you start talking to the model, and then you act like it. Another thing, people do that too, which I'm fine with. Like strangers do it. You know what I mean?
Not another photographer.
It's not another photographer. Like
some dude.
So, like if I see a photographer on the beach, even if I thought the model dope, I say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Da, 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 and I just kind of keep it going.
And then keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing. Like, he's on his time and let him do his thing. I don't know what time they on. I mean, let's say, like, we having a full conversation if I saw you. But if you look like, hey, Chris, how's everything going? You good, man? All right, man, do your thing. Because I don't know how much time you might.
Right.
It could have
start sweating.
It's hot. I mean, I think, like I said, I think that rule is just more so respecting other photographers' space. Because just because I follow you on Instagram, I don't mean we all cool like that. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know you personally. You know what I mean? And I think people have to respect, like, understand, learning other people in advance. I mean, like, I'm the type, I don't just let anybody just show up at my shoots.
Right.
I have to kind of know you in advance.
Right. Because every time you add another molecule to the system, it changes.
It changes. And I don't know your attitude. I don't know how you are. It takes me a while to, like, kind of get into knowing who that person is.
I think as photographers, we're constantly essentially like stand-up comedians.
Mm-hmm.
We're there and it's our show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a shtick, right, that you do for each type of shoot, or is it one shtick that rules them all?
Mm-hmm. So with collaborations, I've got to the point with collaboration because I feel like it's not that I felt like I did everything, but I feel like I did everything. And I'm very open to, like, the model's ideas, like the model's idea, the stylist idea, the makeup artist ideas, because sometimes just because I have a vision, but I might be stuck in my ways. And I'm open to, like, especially in collaboration, I'm very open to just showing up. I'm Mr. All right, you got it, whatever you guys want, I'm cool. Reason being is this. It lets my work evolve because at the end of the day, like, the younger generations, the new models, they have new ideas. And I have to give them that opportunity to express their ideas. I personally like working with, obviously I have my team that I've worked with for a long time, but I like working with new makeup artists, new stylists, new models, because they've been looking at our work, or they've been looking at like new things that I might not even watch. So I already know my style already. I already know what I like, but I also am open to other people's ideas. I do things that I personally might not like use, but I like the fact that I learned how to do it. I mean, I like a style that, you know what? Oh, that's a cool style. Let me just try it. I've never done that before. Right? So I'm not like a stickler to one thing. I'm very open.
I'm gonna wrap this.
Mm-hmm.
One, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, man.
Appreciate that. Two, just so that way I can have it. Can you give me a testimonial about your experience with being in this in whatever way?
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can use that feedback to continue to boost the location, but also to improve the space.
Okay. So, listen, Zavier De'Angelo here with Chris Headshots. What name you want me to go by? Chris Headshots? Chris Headshots, local.
This is Epic Podcast Studio.
No. So
local headshot photographer?
No. Like, what name do you want me to say for it?
Oh, I'm Chris Headshot.
No, I know that, but for the podcast itself.
Oh, Epic. Oh, this is Local Rules
with Chris Headshots.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Zavier De'Angelo here. Had a great time. We're here with Chris Headshots, with Local Rules, with Chris Headshots. I love this podcast. I had a great time. He asked me amazing questions. Matter of fact, he asked me questions that I was not expecting, because I thought it was just going to be questions like photography questions, but it wasn't just that. It was more than that. It was asking me things that I've had happen that I never actually told people. Asking me things that might help other photographers, asking me things that might help people that's traveling. And I think this podcast is great for those people that's coming into town, because I gave like rules that people don't think about doing, coming into town and going to other places. So shout out to Chris. I'm excited to be on this podcast. I can't wait to do the second episode.
Thank you.
Promo game.
Before I turn everything off, look into this camera.
This one?
Yep. And do a call to action for your business.
Zavier De'Angelo say no more. Hey, y'all, this is Zavier De'Angelo with Bleu Frame Studio here with Chris Headshots with the local podcast. Did I get that right? Local podcast?
So nothing about
you. Okay. All right, no, this is just about me.
This is all about you.
I can tell them everything.
Everything.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about me. I do that. And action. Zavier De'Angelo here. Your photographer's favorite photographer. I'm just kidding. But your photographer here. I'm excited to be here at this podcast. You can follow me at Zavier De'Angelo, on Instagram, on YouTube, and all my links. You can actually find my music. I've done some cool AI music. I got mini bounce kids coming out. This is videos that I've done for children, inspiring children, making cool music for children with AI, and also with using some of my ideas as well. Let's do that one again.
Cool. I want you to do it one more time. Don't go deep into it.
Just a little detail. Yeah, just keep it out.
Tell them that you're making it with AI.
Yeah. I thought about that too.
Yep.
Right.
And slow it down.
Okay, cool. All right. I can't help it. I'll do everything I can. Like a commercial. All right, here you go. Hey, guys. Zavier De'Angelo here at Zavier De'Angelo Photography. You can find me on at Zavier De'Angelo on Instagram and at Zavier De'Angelo on YouTube. Also, if you're interested and you have children, I have a company coming out, Mini Bounce Kids, that's going to help children learn and educate and know what's going on in life. But y'all, I had a pleasure, had a great time being here at this podcast. Stay tuned. See you soon.
Cool. And you have a podcast studio?
No.
Say if you or your friends ever need a podcast studio, come to Epic Podcast Studio.
Okay. All right, guys. Tune in again. Can't wait for the second episode. If you and your friends looking for a podcast studio, come to Epic's Podcast Studio. Holla at your boy, Chris. You know he's the plug.
Cool. I'll take it. And clap for me. Perfect. And stop recording.